A positively charged particle with a mass m is located at the origin with an initial velocity having x and z components, which are greater than 0 in both directions. The particle is moving in a magnetic field, which is constant in both magnitude and direction. And in part A, what is the initial force on the particle? Well, the magnetic force, being Fq in this case, is the charge, the cross product between the velocity vector and the magnetic field. So what we have is Q by the velocity, which has a component in the x direction and a component in the z direction, or along the k direction. And we take the cross product with the magnetic field vector, which is B naught in the k direction. So using the distributive property of the cross product, we have Q by Vx naught by B naught I cross k. So we just evaluated the cross product between these two vectors, and then a cross product between these two vectors gives a zero vector, because the unit vector k is parallel with itself. So using the right hand rule, I cross k gives a vector that's pointing into the screen or the minus j direction. So we have minus q by Vx naught B naught by j hat. And let's go to part B. In its subsequent motion, the particle follows a helical trajectory, so the motion in the xy plane is circular. What is the radius of the circular motion in the xy plane? Well, in the xy plane, our circle looks like this. So we have the axes in the x or I hat and j hat directions. And as we said, our force on the particle acts in the minus j direction. So that's the magnetic force, which keeps it travelling in a circle in the xy plane. So the magnetic force has a magnitude of Q by Vx naught by B naught, and that's equal to the mass of the particle by the square of its speed. So the velocity of the particle is in a tangent direction, and because there's no force acting in a tangent direction to the circle, the speed of the particle is constant in the xy plane. So V naught x squared on r, being the radius of the circle, is the centripetal acceleration. So if we solve for r, we get m by Vx naught, because these two cancel, on qb naught. So essentially, the particle has a component of velocity in this direction. So that's the component where the particle is travelling in a circular path, and this component in the z direction makes it travel in the k direction while it's going in that circle. So essentially, we get a combination of translation in the z direction and rotational motion in the xy plane. So the particle moves in a helical trajectory. And in part C, after the particle makes one helical turn, how far has it travelled in the z direction? Well, the time taken for the particle to travel in a circle in the xy plane, being the period, is 2 pi on the angular speed, where the tangent speed is r omega. So 2 pi on omega gives 2 pi r on v. And the tangent speed is Vx naught. And in the z direction, we have the displacement is Vz naught, but the time taken for the particle to complete that circle, which is the period. So what we get is 2 pi r by Vz naught on Vx naught. And we can substitute for Vx naught from this equation, which we got from Newton's second law. So what we get is delta z is 2 pi r by Vz naught over Vx naught, which is qrb naught, on m, so m goes in a numerator, and the r's cancel, so we get 2 pi m by Vz naught on qb naught.